Marketing as a coach is about to change forever. And if you're relying on yesterday's strategies to get clients and grow your business, well, you're likely to be left behind. Don't let this happen to you. Keep watching to discover 6 things you need to know to successfully market your coaching business through the road ahead. Hey, my name's Jason Moss. I'm a multi-6-figure business coach, and I've helped thousands of coaches launch and grow their businesses. And look, the tips I'm about to share with you in this video is super important to your success as a coach. But when it comes to getting clients, if you want more clarity on what to do to successfully market your coaching business, today, I put together a free client attraction guide that walks through all my best advice. You can get that right now for free by clicking the link above or in the description down below. A lot's changing right now in the online marketing world. And if you're a coach who's trying to get clients online, super important that you're aware of these 6 shifts, these things that are going to massively change the way that you market your coaching business. So I wanna cover these 6 shifts today, talk about what they are and how to make sure you're prepared for them so they don't impact your coaching business. And on the flip side, you can actually take advantage of these things to help you get clients and create more success as a coach. So with that being said, let's dive in. The first massive change that we're seeing right now when it comes to marketing is that AI generated content is creating more noise than ever before. You and I know, you probably checked out ChatGPT. You can go in there and you can say, write me a 250 word blog post about how to get clients. And it spits you out something that's honestly pretty good. Like, it's not great, but it's pretty good. And it's only gonna get better. So the truth is, because these tools are so accessible, because they're so easy to use to create content, the volume of content over the next few years is going to increase dramatically. What that means for you is that there's going to be more noise. It's going to be harder to get your content to stand out. And there are certain types of content that are much more likely to get lost in the sea of noise. Anything that is kind of boilerplate, more like informationally based stuff where it's like, here are 3 tips to lose weight in 2024. Here are 5 hacks to help you with XYZ. Things that you could just go into ChatGPT and honestly like churn out in like 2 seconds. Those things are just gonna get lost because there's just gonna be so much of that stuff. So as a coach who's trying to stand out online, your content strategy is going to need to shift to accommodate these new changes. So a lot of the more like lightweight informational type stuff, it's just gonna be more difficult to get traction with that content. And on the flip side, there are gonna be types of content that are gonna be much more likely to actually cut through. Now, I don't want this message to be all doom and gloom. I mean, the truth is, like, it does create some challenges for you as a coach when it comes to marketing, but for coaches who know what kind of content is really gonna stand out in this new world that we're moving towards, I think there's more than enough opportunity for you to really create a deeper connection with the people that you're here to serve. And we're gonna talk about what kind of content does that in a minute, so stick around. Number 2, blogging and SEO is gonna become a lot more difficult. So if you've been using blogging or Google-based SEO traffic in order to bring new people into your audience, into your world, for example, you have a blog where you're publishing, blog posts that are designed to be centered around certain search terms that show up in Google, that kind of marketing I think is gonna get more difficult because of AI. I'm seeing right now people who are running blog-based platforms massively increasing the output of content that they share because AI makes it so easy to do that. And because that's the case, again, there's gonna be much more noise, so it's gonna be much more difficult to stand out. I think blogging and SEO, my prediction, I could be wrong on this, but my prediction is that those ways of generating traffic are gonna become much more difficult. I also think we're likely to start seeing a shift towards Google being more of an AI-based platform where rather than you typing a search term into Google and getting like 10 links to websites that you can go to, Google's just gonna give you the answer. And so a lot of the traffic that you might have been able to generate in the past through Google SEO, it's gonna evaporate. Not all of it, but I think a lot of that traffic is going to decrease. So what can you do as a coach to prepare for this new world to make sure that you've got content that's really gonna stand out and the right marketing strategy in place? That brings us to number 3, which is that the value of a personal brand is going to become more important than it ever was. The content that's really going to stand out in the world that we're moving towards is going to be personality driven. It's the stuff that's personal. It's the stuff where you're sharing stories from your life and lessons that you've learned through hard-earned experience. And rather than just this like boilerplate informational type stuff, talking about you and really bringing yourself more fully into your content and how you communicate. I think this is gonna become so much more important because this is the thing that AI can't do. And ultimately, the thing that's really gonna separate all of that AI generated noise from stuff that really stands out. We are inundated in a sea of content, and the things that really connect with people are personal, they're vulnerable, they're authentic, they're people bringing themselves fully into the narrative. And so the more that you can show people who you are, your lifestyle, stories from your life that illustrate lessons that you've learned, your values, your beliefs, your unique perspective, bringing yourself fully into your marketing, the more that you're going to stand out. And I think this is going to become more important than ever as we move and really race towards an AI-driven world. So if you're a coach who's trying to market yourself online, the most important thing that you can be doing right now, in my opinion, is asking yourself, how can I bring myself more fully into the work I do? How can I make sure that people can experience me on a deeper level through my content, through my social media, through my posts? Bring yourself more fully into what you do. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest keys to standing out in this new world. Number 4, intimacy, connection, and community are going to become more important than ever. It's amazing to me that automation is making it so much easier to do so many of the things that we do in life. And I remember a time when you used to go into the supermarket and the only way that you could check out is waiting in a line with like 10 people and having to spend like 20 minutes waiting for some cashier to like, check out someone's like 52 apples, and you had to like sit in line to wait for that to happen. And now they've got these automated checkout systems. You can just go in 2 seconds and get out of there. In many ways, it's great. And in other ways, I think we're more isolated and more disconnected as a world and as a society than ever before. And when people feel that way, the value of intimacy and connection and community rises. And I believe that your business can be a vehicle for creating more of that in the world. And when you can build intimacy and connection and community into your offers and what you do and really put that at the forefront, people are gonna wanna pay more, they're gonna be more likely to wanna work with you, and they're gonna have a better experience because you're not just helping them create a transformation in their lives, you're also helping them meet a need, in many cases a deeper need, that they might not even be fully aware that they have. That desire to connect, that desire to feel like you're part of a tribe, a group of people who are similar to you, who are doing similar things, who share similar values. Your business can facilitate this. So how can you increase intimacy? How can you bring more connection and more community into what you do? I think there are really 2 camps right now. There's the camp of like, how do we just like automate humanity out of the business and make it all like machines and robots? And then there's the camp of like, how do we bring as much humanity as possible to the table? Personally, I think there's value to both of these perspectives, and I'm not against automation or AI or any of this stuff. I think they're all great tools, but I do think we're racing towards a world where so much of that connection that we have today is going to be increasingly replaced by automation and by AI and by robots and all of that. So knowing that that's the case, you can take advantage of that. And I see a massive opportunity for coaches who are really leveraging that intimacy and that connection and that community in their offers and in the work that they do. Number 5 is that regulation is gonna make some things more difficult and other things easier. So the coaching industry is one of the fastest growing industries in the world right now. And you've got a lot of major players in the coaching space growing very big businesses. Honestly, it's like the wild, wild west because anyone can just wake up one day and say, hey, I wanna be a coach, and start selling their services online. And there are a lot of really great coaches out there and a lot of really great business coaches that are creating amazing programs that are really helping people. And a lot of people who don't really have the qualifications to actually help, who are showing up and will gladly take, $10,000 from you and sell you a program that doesn't really deliver. Unfortunately, this is happening at scale, and it's creating a good number of negative customer experiences. And when that happens, governments start paying attention, and there's much more likely to be regulations put in place. So this is already happening right now on the back end. And my expectation is within the next couple of years, we'll probably see some kind of regulation that starts to happen within the coaching industry. I have no idea what specifically that's going to look like. But what I do imagine is that it's going to make some things a little bit more difficult. For example, you may have to get some kind of special license from the government to advertise yourself as a coach, or it might make some forms of marketing more difficult. There might be certain things that you're able to talk about in your marketing and certain things you aren't. And so I expect that those changes will happen. It's just a matter of when. And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I think protecting consumers is really important. We should make sure that we're doing that. It's also gonna make some things easier. It's probably gonna raise the bar as to what it takes to step in to the coaching industry, which means there are probably gonna be fewer players in the coaching space, and it's gonna be easier to stand out. So regulation has pros and cons. Just be aware that this is something that is happening behind the scenes. There's no need to, panic about it, but just be aware about, some of the regulation that might be happening in your country, depending on where you live, so you can stay on top of it and make sure that you're set up for success in your coaching business. And number 6 is, as always, the cream is gonna rise to the top. So when I hear these things, there's a part of my mind that's like, oh, what is this gonna mean for me? And I get a little anxious. There's another part of my mind that's actually really excited, because I know that these changes have this impact and this effect of kind of knocking people out of the market who maybe don't have the skills, or they kind of have shady business practices or whatever it is. And then the people who are really committed to serving and helping others and who genuinely have the skills to help, those are the people who are gonna rise to the top. And because there are fewer people now competing to be heard and fewer people in the market, those people end up standing out and having an easier time getting clients. And look, if you're a coach who's here, you're committed to really helping people, you have the skills, you've got the experience to be able to do that, and you're committed to playing the long game, and you're not just saying, how can I get rich quick tomorrow, but I am committed to really building a sustainable business for the long haul and really creating deep transformations in the lives of my clients. If you're committed to that day after day after day, you will end up rising to the top. So don't be worried about these changes, just be aware of them, and just know that as things shift and change, there's always going to be new opportunities. And as someone who's running a coaching business, part of your job as an entrepreneur is to look out and say, okay, what opportunities are out there that other people might not be seeing as a result of these changes that I can take advantage of, that are gonna give me that edge? And that's a mindset that's available to you, and it's available to all of us. These changes are exciting, and at the end of the day, I think this is gonna make the coaching industry even better. Now, if you want more guidance and clarity on how to get clients in your coaching business, I put together a free client attraction guide that walks through all of my best advice in this area, how to get on track to sign 2, 3, 4 high-paying clients month after month after month. This is the roadmap that we teach our clients to help them do this. I'd love to share this with you. It's completely free. Just click the link above or in the description down below to go download that right now. If you love this video, you're definitely gonna love that one too. So click the link on the screen to check that out, and I'll see you in the next video.